Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media used is found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hey guys, I said I'd be back really soon. So as I said in my last video, one of the stories that came up that made me go, ooh, so I've been starting to pay a bit more attention to what's been happening, and it was to do with Charles and William have apparently been begging Harry and Meghan to come back into the royal fold. They will not have to work, but they know that Harry and Meghan are both very fragile at the moment, and they're pleading with them to come back to the safety of the UK. I'm not sure I really believe this. Charles, maybe. William, I can't see him begging Meghan to do anything. And maybe one of them's fragile. My money's on Harry, but I really don't believe this narrative that Meghan is fragile, Meghan is not okay. I do believe that Meghan, out of everyone in this entire scenario, is the one that is doing perfectly fine. So after Megxit exploded and the newspapers were all over it and we found out that they were leaving, Harry did pretty much a farewell speech. He was speaking at the Caring Foundation, and they have links to the Sensible, that's why he was there. And he basically, in his speech, he said that after lots of challenges, he was stepping down. Everything was his choice. He had to do what was best for Meghan and Archie, you know, really pushing the narrative that it was all Harry's doing. I don't think so. So after Harry's speech made the headlines for all the wrong reasons, because he was quite clearly making a dig at the Queen and Charles, after I think that they handled Megxit quite gracefully, considering that it was lumped on them last minute with 10 minutes to spare. But it's since been revealed that Meghan was supposed to be at the final farewell speech with him. She was meant to be there supporting her husband, and in the 11th hour she did not show. Apparently Harry wasn't aware of this until the final moment. That doesn't really say a lot about their relationship, does it? So in a matter of days after Harry gave this farewell speech, Meghan's friends have been speaking to various magazines and outlets saying that Meghan saved Harry. Harry's soul was being crushed. He was being completely suffocated by remaining in the royal family, and it was Meghan's love for him that gave him the strength to leave. Sorry. A little bit of indigestion there. I believe that Meghan was the one that hit the button personally. I think that she got bored. I think that Harry was like, right, okay, we need to do this step by step. I've got to see my dad. I can't do this. I can't do it many. Meghan is the one that's just gone boom. She's hit the big red button, and then she's hightailed it out of there, hasn't she? She's, oh, I've got to get back to Archie. And she went. She was gone. Never to be seen again on English shores, I'm sure. But how cowardly was that to do that? I mean, if Harry's really this fragile person that she saved with her love, protected him from his evil family, she's left him to deal with the fallout of everything, and then to do it again with this speech where he was expecting her to fly in from Canada and support him, and she didn't. That tells you everything about the marriage that you need to know. So what has since been reported is the Queen actually offered Harry and Meghan a peaceful life. Before the wedding, the Queen had given the same choice that she gave Princess Anne's husband, and that was to join the royal family but to not have any titles, to not become HRH, to not become working royals. Meghan could continue with her acting career. Harry would obviously still be a full-time working royal. This would give Meghan time to slowly, I guess, climatise to everything that's expected of her. The Queen was turned down on no uncertain terms. Meghan had given up absolutely everything by this point, pretty much before Harry got engaged to her, which is kind of weird and a little bit creepy. But strangely didn't bring her clothes over, which I'll go on to in a little while. So Meghan wanted everything. She wanted everything and she wanted it now. Apparently friends, agents, people have come forward and said that they told her to slow down, to wait. Did she know what she was doing? It was reported that she said to several people, I'm not listening. I've basically got my eye on the prize. And she wanted it all, didn't she? And she got it all. And she did it at an alarming rate, and it's now she's going, I don't want it. I want to go back to what I had. As it turns out, she kept her Hollywood team and she kept it secret from the royal family. Now, if she was ready and willing to give up her entire life to come live to the UK, no one else find it weird about the fact that she kept hold of her, sort of like her Hollywood lawyer, her PR agent, her business manager, that she kept hold of her company Frimfram, which was only recently, just before the big detonator button on Megxit was actually hit, that was moved to a tax haven. Now, her company Frimfram are what owns the rights to the TIG, which was recently renewed for a number of years. Another thing that came up which raised major red flags for me is she had all of her clothes, her pre-Harry clothes, shipped from where she lived in Toronto to the place where they live now. This is one of the most recent pictures of Meghan. She's wearing her old clothes from Suits. No one else find that a little bit strange? The fact that she'd moved to the UK, she was going to become a British citizen, she was becoming a Duchess, she was going to be a royal member of the family, she was hitting the ground running, never shipped over her clothes, right? But she kept all of that basically on the back burner and kept it storage in Toronto. Why? That to me, bearing in mind she's been married for 20 months, why would you not have them sent over? Because she was always going to go back. It does beg the question as well. What did she do? What did she say to Harry going, oh, I just had a phone call from the airport. They've lost all of my luggage. What am I going to do? Charles, can you help? Here's my credit card, Meghan, knock yourself out. Didn't she knock herself out? She knocked herself out. She probably knocked the bank manager out and she probably gave Charles's accountant a heart attack. How can anyone spend £1 million on clothes in that short space of time? But more importantly, how is Charles allowed to get away with putting £1 million worth of designer clothes, couture nonetheless, a £92,000 dress for Morocco, through on business expenses? So far she kept all of her clothes back. She kept a secret team of an agent, a lawyer, a business manager. She kept her website. She's kept everything on the back burner. Now bearing in mind this was true love and she gave up everything to be with Harry. Did she give everything up? Was this really a true love story or did she have an ulterior motive? Now obviously once the wedding happened, Meghan got pregnant straight away. Bearing in mind she was nearly 40, so some people say that they rushed and that, but I find it very odd that a woman who has never come across maternal in her entire life, that has been married once, twice before, she's never wanted children, her career's always come first. You're telling me now all of a sudden that she met Harry, she's given up everything and she immediately wanted a baby straight away. Her celeb friends all came forward saying Meghan's always dreamed about being a mother. Motherhood was always what Meghan wanted. It's like, hang on a minute, you don't even know her? You met her at the wedding. How do you know what Meghan's wanted her entire life? All of you are new in her social circle. No one can deny that Meghan chased this. Meghan wanted this. Meghan was thirsty for this. Everyone has said it. She literally had her eyes on a prize and she went for gold. This isn't some young 19-year-old love-struck girl. This is a woman that has grifted and grafted and stepped on hundreds of people her entire life to get what she wants. She's mercenary in some of the ways that she's treated people in life. So now that Meghan has left the royal family, stories are coming out thick and fast how the royal family were toxic, how she was never accepted, how Harry has been bullied and suppressed all these years in his life, that they were never given the support from the family that they should have received. Meghan's life was being crushed, her soul was being destroyed. You couldn't make anything up more dramatic, can you? So I want to know, at what point was all of this happening? Was it happening when people were throwing street parties for them, people were cheering? Was it the £32 million wedding where people were applauding, where she graced newspapers and magazines for days on end? Was it when she was touring around the world in Australia, when she was being supported by countries that have never even met her? Was it when she got to visit kings and queens of the world and be treated like a princess, where she got to sit on thrones? Was it when she was editing for Vogue? Was it when she was designing a clothing capsule? Was it when she was giving all of the speeches? Was it when she got to go on the Queen's train? I mean, the multi-million-pound wardrobe? Was it the huge wedding that she was thrown? I'm really trying to scratch my head at what point she was being suffocated and crushed. Now we're being told that Meghan wishes to go back into acting. Well, of course she wants to go back into acting because she never stopped acting. She has been acting the role of her life, and to be fair, she's not been doing very well at it either. I mean, that is going to go down in history. Harry desperately trying to pitch his wife, not to one Disney exec, but two. There's two video clips out there. One is Bob Iger. I don't know who the other guy was, but with the other guy, you've got Beyonce in the background, like, oh, they're pretty bad, they're pretty cringeworthy. Apparently the royal family have tried to have that removed, but why should they remove it? Why should you pay money? They need to be shown for the way that they're behaving, because it's not okay. So then when people criticise them, it's nothing to do with Meghan being biracial, it's their behaviour, both of them. So whilst Meghan was busy having her soul crushed by the royal family and Harry was being suffocated, probably by Meghan as he sleeps with a pillow over his face, Meghan sure has been a busy bee. She's been setting up foundations. She's been arranging chats with Oprah. She has been basically trademarking everything that she possibly can so they can merch when they leave the royal family. Setting up multiple websites. There's fashion deals in the works that she's all been up to. So that's not bad for someone that's having a really, really hard time. So the real questions are, how long has she been planning this? Well, on the 23rd of October 2018, Meghan's business manager back in LA registered archfoundation.com and archfoundation.org. 23rd of October 2018, a mere 5 months after their wedding, where they were really going to knuckle down and be hard-working royals. So she'd already set up this foundation. And as I said, it's called Arch Foundation. Archie Foundation is already taken. I don't know if this was the closest thing. But it does beg the question, she would have been 8-9 weeks given Archie's actual birth date, and that's questionable. How did they know that they were going to have a little boy and call him Archie when he was only 8 weeks old, 8-9 weeks in gestation? You know, a lima bean, he was nothing. I've got friends that have argued a week, I think even one couple, 2 weeks after the birth, over names. And of course, Archie, as some of you know, was the name of Meghan's cat that she managed to, well, let's just say it died because it was fed a diet of grapes. Mind you, they do say something about people. What is it? If they hurt animals, they can be a bit prone to... Oh, that's another video. So another thing that's customary in the royal family, I don't think it's protocol anymore. I just think it's done out of politeness. The Queen is often told of the child's name. So this is obviously another protocol that Meghan and Harry felt that they didn't need to do. This is why Catherine and William have always left it a day, 2 days before they announce the child's name, because the baby's born. They decide the name, they tell the Queen first, which I think is actually really sweet. But Meghan is no stranger to breaking protocol, and this is where my little plot twist comes into it. I'm beginning to think that Meghan did it all on purpose. I'm beginning to think the not wearing the tights, some of the outfits which were identical to Diana were bound to cause comparisons. There were stories of where she was supposed to go out with the Queen and the Queen said wear a hat. Meghan didn't wear a hat. How many engagements have we seen of Meghan with her hair billowing around in the wind? You know, she doesn't tie her hair back, she doesn't wear hats, she hasn't worn tights. Now I know some of you would be like, oh for God's sake, that's absolutely ridiculous. But these are the rules of the royal family. They're not rules as in you're going to get in trouble for it. But you know, if that's what the Queen wants, she's the flipping Queen of England. If she wants you to wear tights and prefers it if you wear tights, you wear the tights. You don't have to live in tights morning, noon and night, but you wear them when you go to the engagements. But all of this started getting picked up in the media. And this is where I think she did it deliberately. There was, you know, even with the nail polish, it's known that the Queen doesn't like particular coloured nail varnish. She prefers to be nude or really, really subtle colours. So Meghan, when she went to the fashion wars, where she wore the one-shouldered black dress, she had black nail polish on. The courtiers have tried to steer Meghan in the right direction. It's been reported, widely reported, that she ignored them. She wanted to do it her way. Even her friends have come forward. Meghan's cutting out her own path. Meghan wants to do it her own way. Meghan's not doing it this. That's because Meghan was pushing back. She's pushed back every bit of advice that she could have had. Do I believe she's a control freak? Yes. Do I believe that she was deliberately stirring the pot and getting everyone to basically comment? I think she's done all of the stories in the papers, the breaking protocol, the stirring up, so people would then start criticising her, because then Meghan would go, Harry, your brother's mean to me, Catherine's mean to me, your family are mean to me, the public are mean to me, everybody's mean to me. And of course this inflates Harry's kind of like protector ego, doesn't it? And he goes, it's okay, Meghan, I'll protect you, I'll save you. It's an awful manipulation that I'm pretty sure that she's used on him from the very beginning. You can tell this was going on from the first warning that Harry put out to the press, didn't he? Telling everyone to leave his girlfriend alone because she was being sort of like racially attacked. It's like, well, a lot of the media hadn't even run stories on her. No one knew who she was. And I'm going to say it, I've said it hundreds of times, most people didn't even know that she was biracial. I'm sorry to people that defend her and call her sort of like your black princess and everything. She didn't look biracial. Most people thought that maybe she was Spanish, a bit Latina or something. There are several pictures of Meghan out on the internet and I am more tanned than her. She had her family talking to the media. You had a white dad, you had a white sister, you had a white brother. No one really knew. It was only when Doria started coming out that people cottoned on. So everyone trying to pull this poor Meghan, she's being attacked because she's black. It's bullshit. To be honest with you, I don't think even Meghan believes that it's racist against her. I don't believe it. The reasons why I don't believe it, I don't think that Meghan really truly feels that she's being bullied, that she's being pushed out. I think it has just all been one big game plan from the beginning. I think she's done everything to stir the pot so she got lots of negative coverage so she could use this as a get out. I don't believe that Meghan ever really wanted to truly be a member of the royal family. I really don't. Meghan's like quest first, she's a humanitarian. Funny enough, the real pictures started surfacing of her visiting Rwanda were only in 2016, pretty much after she set sights on Harry. I think everything has been a massive game plan to get Harry, to get the titles and to get out. I believe that she just wanted the titles because she wanted the fame, she wants the money. She's had Archie now, so that's guaranteed money. She's got the platform, she's got more fame than what she's ever had. Now she's ready, she wants to go back, and there might be a few Hollywood people sniffing around her now, but it will only be for a limited amount of time because let's face it, once Meghan gets back onto any form of screen, people are going to remember that she's actually really not a good actress. She has done step by step what so many people predicted before they got married. As soon as Meghan came on the scene, there were loads of people that had come from Meghan's past that came forward that said that she's a user, she's a grifter, she is going to use this to her absolute advantage. And then there were people that just didn't like her. We picked up on something, there was something not right with her, she was a wrong un. We just knew, especially from that engagement interview, that is the turning point for a lot of people. Everything that people predicted has come true. They had the rushed wedding, didn't they? They got married so quickly. There was no like real time of them living together. They needed to get married immediately. To the point that Harry made his cousin push her engagement announcement, her wedding back. This is how desperate he wanted to marry Meghan. And I don't think Harry can even see that she's pulling the strings. And she is pulling the strings. And she did, didn't she? She got pregnant with Archie pretty much straight away after the wedding. Then people predicted what she'll do to Harry. She'll do what she did to her own family, to other people. She'll separate him. There'll start to be fallings out. And sure enough, what happened? As soon as Meghan pretty much married into the family, one by one, Harry's friends were cut off. His family were cut off. That entire family have now been cut away from him. People have predicted this. And they predicted that it would be total isolation. What's happened now? She's got him in Canada. She has literally played this out step by step, and I do think this was her plan from the beginning. Look at everything I've discussed in this video. She never had any intentions of staying, and I think she's played us all with this kind of victim card, and we all suckered into it. So I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm going to give you my predictions on what I think will be the next stage. The next stage, I believe that she's going to convince Harry to move out the quiet, leafy area that they are, really lovely part of Canada, nice and quiet, to either move back to probably a real sort of celebrity driven area where her Toronto set and friends are, or maybe California. A few people have said that because they said like the divorce law 50-50, but I think she might stick to Toronto. She doesn't have a life in LA. That's where all of her friends are. That's the social set that she wants. That's where the politics are that she no doubt wants to inject herself into. And I already think that she's got the wheels in motion to convincing Harry to move somewhere else, like a gated community, of, you know, a big £1 billion sort of billionaires playground and that. Because the media that she's been doing, the fake pictures set up by Splash and Backgrid, the fact that she's being stalked by paparazzi, of course that's a red flag to Harry, isn't it? Of course it's like waving a flag in front of a bull. But as I said with these pictures before, no one else finds it weird about these security guards. I'm sorry, but they're supposed to be Metropolitan Police or Canadian Mounties. They're doing private protection. All they cared about was whether they had their hat on or off, so they're not protecting Meghan men in the bushes. What happens if it was a kidnap plot? What happens if they had a gun? None of it adds up. It's all been one big setup, and I think the fact that Meghan's not had any pictures released since Harry's gone to Canada shows the fact that maybe she can't quite get away with as much as she was when she was there on her own. But mark my words, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, and they'll be moving out of there for their safety at some point. And then once Harry's invested enough money, or Charles, and they've bought that big multi-million-pound mansion, she's got every bit tied up, then I guarantee you it will be bye-bye Harry. Meghan said about her love story with Harry that one day the stars aligned, and I believe that the stars did align, but I believe that they aligned for Meghan. I believe that Harry is yet to go through the hardest thing he's probably ever gone through in his life. And I'm sorry, but I always think back to that engagement interview when he looked at her and he turned around and said, "I hope she loves me like I love her." Sorry, Harry, I don't think so.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.